LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing, co-hosts Brian Schmidt, PJ Noodleman, and producer Dangerous Dan Margetta. Call the show anytime at 414-421-7901. And now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
And hello there, faithful listeners. Glad you could join us. We're going to race on a road course, Watkins Glen. Woohoo! It's the last time they're going to race here in May, thank goodness. Nice to have you join us. I am joined by my three partners, beginning with Ootsburg, Wisconsin's own Brian Schmidt. Hi, Brian.
Good morning and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. My wife and my mom. My mom's birthday was yesterday, too, so we got to celebrate Mother's Day and her birthday at the same time.
Yeah. She's
not listening, so that's okay.
My mom's birthday was always close by, too. But we don't celebrate her birthday now that she's not with us anymore. But happy Mother's Day to my wife, the great mother that she is, and my daughter and my granddaughter who's a mother. Oh, my God. It's crazy. And, of course, then we have way on the other side of the state, on the left coast, as we like to call it, PJ Noodleman. Hi.
Hi there. We have 54 degrees here in Trempealeau, very similar to what they are going to have today at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, we have, I got a forecast for you a little later on. Dan Margetta, who's back on this side. We're kind of bouncing back and forth across the state. St. Francis or Texas?
No, back in Wisconsin today. So we're and happy Mother's Day to my mom and all the moms out there as well. And I guess ready to go road course racing in May for the one and only time here the way it's going, huh?
Yeah, they're changing the date. It's going to be during a chase now. And, okay, so there's logic. I guess it's been raining there, or what's the issue?
It's typical spring weather. The spring in upstate New York is very similar to the spring here. I mean, let's be honest, we wouldn't have a cup race around here this time of year because you just don't know what you're going to get. Yeah. And NASCAR did this. When the schedule came out last year, everybody was in an uproar about it because kids are still in school. It's a big camping event. Really, there was no reason to why they did this. Their excuse was they wanted to move some dates around to see if it would affect attendance. Well, it affected attendance there. It brought it down. So on Wednesday, when they opened the track and started allowing campers in, people were getting stuck. There was mud. It was 42 degrees. And by Thursday morning, they go, oh, yeah, we're going back to September next year with this race, which it's been before. It's been in the playoffs before, or chase now. So that was why. So it was a quick, whoops, we screwed this up. We're going to try to correct it. But surprisingly enough, they've been able to get all the racing in so far, given how terrible the weather's been out there.
Yeah, the forecast isn't that bad. It's supposed to be highs in the 60s. However, there is a 20% chance of precipitation, which means they have 11 sets of tires in the pit, 6 sets for dry conditions and 5 sets for wet conditions. And the real winner in that whole deal is Goodyear. What do they do with all those extra tires? Peach, do you know? Do they take them back?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The teams never keep their tires. I mean, if you ever see all the big trailers that are at all the races, the teams, they go back to Goodyear. Whatever they don't use, Goodyear will keep and put back on the shelf for when they go to San Diego, which is probably not going to rain there either. So
and then you get nice aged rubber. Is that what it is?
Yeah, or Goodyear might take those old rain tires and they may allocate them to a different series. Like you have a lot of NASCAR style cars that run vintage type racing. At least the Norp cars, it's still the same size tire. I don't know what they do with their new bigger tire they have. They may match up with another series somewhere else and they'll use them within a quick time frame because you don't want them to be aged.
Okay, yeah, I would think so. It's going to be on FS1 today. 2:14 Central Time is the green flag if you want to skip all the pre-race BS. And actually, I am so over that. I'll turn it on in time for the first lap, and we'll be good to go. That's how that works. As far as making picks, I'm looking back here last week. Not a one of us took Chase Elliott at Texas, who won his second race of the year last week. Good for him. It's kind of amazing that there haven't been more wins out of the Hendrick conglomerate there. But Chase Elliott, most popular driver, is winning races. I guess if any of them are going to win, that'd be the guy. I wonder how far behind him Kyle Larson is in popularity. They don't really put out the vote at the end and say who was second and third. Although they did when Dick Trickle finished second to Bill Elliott that year. They did tell everybody he was second. But I don't wonder why they don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, unless they don't want to let you know how big the gap really is. I don't know. I mean, the Elliott conglomerate has pretty much locked that most popular driver award down, I think, for a long time now. And who knows how they go about it? I mean, they have a good campaign, or do they, do you use a lot of bots and stuff too? They're worried probably about that. Somebody could kind of mess things up and have a bot come through and kind of really, if you know what you need, you could probably manipulate that somehow.
Yeah, it's the only time I ever use the word hierarchical, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
And someday someone will explain to me what the hell that means.
Hey, last week at Texas, was everybody mad at each other for some reason or something? You got guys running into each other, a lot of cautions. I mean, you got fines coming out this week. Was this just been building and it just came to a head at Texas, or what's going on there?
Full disclosure, I was at Madison and I never watched the replay, so I'm going to have to take your word on it. I know, Dan, you were there, so you must have watched the replay. Brian, you were at Madison. Oh, we have PJ. She never made it out. You probably watched it live, right?
I watched part of it, yeah. But
there's other things to do. Is that what you're saying?
I'm sorry.
You were watching Madison too, weren't you?
I was watching Madison, yeah.
I knew it, see? Well, we have priorities.
They fined, Ryan Priest this week for taking out the Gibbs kid, and then who did the Kyle Busch wreck with Nemechek towards the end there? I mean,
yeah.
Although Kyle didn't get a penalty.
No, he didn't. But the difference there is that Kyle didn't say something on the radio to give himself guilt or to point the finger at himself, whereas Priest actually did say something on the radio, which is a pass for NASCAR to be able to punish you.
Apparently, that's the difference. They're going to have code words, My God, that guy's a great race car driver. And then, Dan, I liked your idea. That was
I mean, you should do that. Wow, what an awesome move. Tell that guy he's one of the best guys I've ever seen. I'm really a big fan of his, and just go dump him in a corner.
And just dump him and say, oops. The segments will be on lap 20 and lap 50. It is a 100-lap race, up from 90 in years past. We get 10 extra laps. Well, that'll almost make up for all the caution laps they have at the end of segments. It's a 2.45-mile road course, so it's 245 miles for 100 laps. That's what we're looking at today. And SVG's on the pole. You look at that and you think to yourself, boy, Trackhouse hasn't done shit this year. Well, today's the day. They have 3 cars that qualified in the top 5, with SVG at 123.937 miles per hour, 1 minute 11.165 seconds to get around. You have Chastain qualified 4th and Zilish 5th. Zilish finally shows up, when he's in somebody else's car. Well, today he's got a Trackhouse car up at the front of the field. Something is just wrong over there at Trackhouse. Nobody really knows what it is. They just seem to have lost it. I don't know. We can make up all we want. It was funny when they talked to SVG after he had fast time, and he said, I am out of control. I'm really surprised I'm fast time. Well, I guess most of the cars are in the same situation.
They usually say fast is loose or loose is fast.
And that's everybody there, because the conditions are so drastically different from what they're used to. I mean, the rear grip on these cars is like non-existent because it's so cold. They got more horsepower on these cars than they did the last time they were there. So, I mean, they said it's upwards of 40 degrees cooler when they're out there, when they were qualifying yesterday, than what it was when they normally qualify there in either August or September. Wow. So it's thrown them a wrench as far as the control of the car. But that's where I think Shane Van Gisbergen is going to really shine, because he's used to that and he can control that. But if Trackhouse doesn't win this race today, I mean, then the big red flag's got to come up. Then something seriously going on, because this is the day they got circled. Either Zilish or SVG has to win this race if they want to have any sorts of saving their season.
Chastain has won on road courses. He won down in Texas, didn't he?
He did, yeah. That was his first ever win.
Yeah, so, I mean...
You can throw him in there, too. One of those 3 has to win this race today to save Trackhouse's season, I think.
Didn't we say the same thing at COTA when they were there, and Tyler Reddick ended up winning it?
Yep.
Oh, there you go. There you
That's
go.
why I think the sense of urgency is even more on Trackhouse now, because I think last year they won basically all of them, and now this year, they're 0 for 1. You have one less road course than you had last year, so the sense of urgency is there.
We're glad you're tuned in for this Mother's Day edition of LTN. We'll take a break and be back right after these.
Ready for a weekend that's pure vintage vibes? Spring Vintage Weekend with SVRA hits. Road America May 15th through the 17th. Classic muscle, old school racers, and the coolest throwback machines you've ever seen, all ripping around the 4-mile track. Grab your crew, grab your picks, and get close enough to smell the horsepower. Spring Vintage Weekend, May 15th through the 17th. Come for the experience. Stay for the race. Get tickets at roadamerica.com.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Spring is in the air, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need, with fresh mulch arriving daily, from premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to Enviro mulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years, PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Chimney Mechanics installs and services wood, natural gas, propane, pellet stoves, and chimneys. We service all of Wisconsin, the UP, and Northern Illinois. We repair all brands and all models of fireplaces, no matter where you bought it. We do custom chimney caps, liners, chimney fire repairs, water and stonework, water leak repairs, and replacement dampers. We do new construction and insurance work. No job is too big or too small. ChimneyMechanics.com. That's Chimney Mechanics with an X. Check us out on Facebook.
Welcome back to the program. Glad you're listening. Mother's Day. They didn't used to race on Mother's Day. It was one of those dates that was considered sacred, and it was the traditional date for the Saturday night race on Nashville on the fairgrounds. The reason I know this is because I attended that one 4 times in the late 70s and early 80s, back when I was, still.
Yeah. It never was a popular day. Remember they tried to put the Winston, the All-Star race at Mother's Day that one time in Atlanta too, and that didn't go over very well.
Yeah, but Elliott won it, didn't he?
Yeah, but
it made it popular.
Yeah, but then even that was always the date the tracks didn't want. You said they always ran Saturday night. Then they moved Darlington there too. But when they were they didn't know what they're going to do with Darlington, and Darlington survived, and somehow they made Mother's Day work enough that they can go back to their regular traditional Labor Day date. But it was always kind of the date that they were trying to put a track you always thought they were trying to move on from,
Yeah. And now, boy, they're what a political football that racetrack has turned into at the fairgrounds in Nashville. I wish I had more positive feelings about it, but these citizens complaint groups are getting deafening. And I'm worried about that. Yeah, why is that such an issue? They're still racing there with super lates. Why, just because it's a cup race, is it suddenly somehow against environmental issue rules? I don't get it.
It's more on on everybody's radar when it's a bigger deal, I
guess. I mean, they have the All-American race. That's a big deal.
Yeah, the Cars Tour race there a couple weeks ago, and they filled the place up. It's one of the biggest crowds they've had there in years, and they did really, really well with it because, Dale Earnhardt Jr. was there. So,
yeah,
I think that's, if anything, what him bringing the cars through there last year. If you're going to get that place to survive, that's going to help, having him as a voice and getting some eyes on that and seeing that place can be successful. Because last year's weather was horrible for the All-American 400, and they didn't have much of a crowd there, and that really hurts.
SRX race there, remember that? And it featured father against son, Elliott, and turns out in that lawsuit we find out NASCAR didn't like that at all, and that they were. The whole idea behind that SRX series was pretty good. They wanted to bring the stars back, the people that draw. And NASCAR has guys out there that they may be talented, but they're young, they're unknown, and they don't draw. And SRX had all those old names competing against each other again, and it drew nicely. Also, if you get a small enough racetrack, it sells the place right the hell out. So.
You think about that. If you see the thing with Stewart talked about a while ago, when there was some big meeting with the NASCAR execs and the drivers, and they're kind of not on the same page of how the sport should go, and that's when he kind of decided they're all kind of retired and going somewhere else. I think SRX was a way for those guys to kind of show the NASCAR leadership at the time their way of doing things and how what may work. That sometimes drivers do matter and star power matters, and then that's I think what that did. They showed them how to do it, but then they didn't have anything to really follow through, and that's kind of why it faded away. But I think that was kind of a statement deal by the drivers that this is the way we think we should go. And you can tell how separate sides both sides were at that point, because of the lawsuit with Jordan kind of made it all come to a head, where you had two kind of the garage on one side and NASCAR on the other side kind of thing. And I think that was SRX, just their way of showing them, hey, this is how it should be done. We think it could be done this. And they kind of did for a year or two. Just didn't have the resources to make it go on.
They failed ultimately too. Even having all those great names racing again, they failed. So yeah.
I don't know if they had enough long-term stuff there, thought out about that in the beginning. If that was that set to be a long-term thing, or was that just set to be something to try it, get it done, and we'll see if it takes off from there.
I think, Dan, it was a 1-year experiment, and they wanted to see, if the ratings were worth the investment. They decided it was. The whole idea was pretty cool that they went to some of these classic tracks and brought these great drivers with them. That's what, don't think our sport has ever really recovered after the turnover that we've had. Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, Matt Kenseth, Carl Edwards, the names
Jimmy Johnson,
Earnhardt Jr. Who else?
Jimmy Johnson,
all those guys. When they all disappear, they took all their fans with them, and we have to watch and decide who we like and who we're going to follow. And, yes, we like Connor Zilisch. Okay. Is he the new Jeff Gordon? I don't know. It's hard to say. But they need to build their fan base, and that's what still hasn't happened. So, the
way the cars had a lot to do with it as well. I mean, Jeff Gordon was popular because he came out this fancy rainbow car, and you saw that same thing every single week. You didn't change it up like we do now every week. And kids, I was younger back then, and kids who love that look of that car, and that was the one. Same with Dale Earnhardt. It was black every week, and people loved to attach to that. We don't have that either. So I think as much as the drivers make a difference, what we're putting out there for cars is a big thing to do with it as well.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly, because there was something about the consistency of sponsorship and then the loyalty of those sponsors.
Yep. You bought a shirt and you knew that's what you were going to have. You wore it Sunday because that's what you see on the track, and now you buy a shirt and it's some other sponsor. Like, for instance, am I the only one that thinks it's hilarious that a Polak has Mexican beer on his car this week? Keselowski has brought Modelo on as a sponsor. I think it's hilarious. I'm curious, though, why would they have not wanted to go with Suarez? Is that just a little too much saturation at that point? Like, who are we selling it to? Modelo, turns out, is like the most popular beer sold in America. You remember that?
Well, I think you're looking at it through a racial lens instead of a marketing lens, Todd. I mean, I get what you're saying, but at the same time,
I just think it's funny. That's all.
Yeah, but from a marketing standpoint, you'd like to be on somebody who might have a shot at getting more screen time.
Yeah, yeah. Isn't that true? Although, the Mexican fans who love Suarez and he crosses all that racial BS. A lot of people like Suarez, including myself. He's a pretty cool guy, and he's totally unafraid. But maybe that's just a little too much. There's got to be a joke there. A Polak walks into a bar and orders a Modelo. Come on, I don't know the punchline, but I think it's just funny that we got this situation. Well, anyway, it's brand new. It's a new sponsor, and welcome. Nice to have you. The number one selling beer in America. We'll be back.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company in the heart of Wisconsin is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at wagnerautomotive.com.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
Ready for a weekend that's pure vintage vibes? Spring Vintage Weekend with SVRA hits. Road America May 15th through the 17th. Classic muscle, old school racers, and the coolest throwback machines you've ever seen, all ripping around the 4-mile track. Grab your crew, grab your picks, and get close enough to smell the horsepower. Spring Vintage Weekend, May 15th through the 17th. Come for the experience. Stay for the race. Get tickets at roadamerica.com.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice at Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Before we get any further into the program, the racing world lost a lady whose name is very synonymous with racing, particularly up here in the Midwest, PJ.
Yeah, Bernadine Weirs, Bert is kind of what they all called her. She passed away on Thursday. She was married to Larry Weirs, longtime race promoter at La Crosse. The family itself, way involved in racing, especially their son Chad, who started at Weirs Machine and Racing Products in Bangor, Wisconsin. That's over here on my side of the state. I haven't heard anything yet on arrangements, but prayers for Larry, Chad, and the whole Weirs family.
Is it me, or did I hear an echo there, Matt? I think we should be looking into that. It's only from PJ, though, at this point. So we're thinking of the entire Weirs family today, and terrible time, Mother's Day week for it to happen also. So not that it's ever really a good time. Dan, you know, this silly ass lawsuit, which to be honest with you, I'm just kind of, it's not that we're tired of hearing it. It's that it's just dominating headlines when I just don't think there's anything all that important that's going on. But because our buddy in the 77 car, Hocevar, is doing something, apparently that means that we need to turn up the wick on the lawsuit, because since he drives for Spire, he must be doing better because of the secrets that were stolen from Joe Gibbs Racing. Am I on to something here?
Well, it looks like they wanted to amend the lawsuit to include that. Remember, Spire did put a thing out after they won at Talladega that wanted to amend their part that says we now have 2 wins, kind of a dig there. So they went back and said, okay, we're going to try to amend it that says you're winning now because you stole our stuff. The judge did grant this week a trial date, which is now set for January of 2027, which is kind of right in the middle where each side wanted. I think Gibbs wanted it earlier than that, and Spire wanted it later than that. So it looks like January, if it gets to that point, will be where the trial will be. And they did grant some discovery requests for JGR for subpoenas for communications between Dickerson and Gabehart as far as like text messages, that kind of thing, and any documents about their potential employment at Spire, and any deleted text messages kind of thing. That way the judge denied their request to actually include some other text messages and things from Rick Ware Racing and Trackhouse too. They wanted to include other teams in there as well. So she kind of said, no, we're not going that route. So it goes on. We'll see what happens. If it gets to January, it'll be something to talk about in the off season, I guess. In the meantime, we'll see how it goes. Spire's gotten better. And
they have.
Is it because of, it could be, I mean, it's a people sport. I mean, but is it something that they stole from Gibbs, or is it just they got the right people in place now? Because more people are there than just Chris Gabehart. I mean, I don't think he was the last final piece, was he?
No, I don't believe so. And let's not overlook the fact, you may love him, you may hate him, but Carson Hocevar has got better. You can see it. Now, is it just because of some secret that was put into his race car? I don't think so. He's just progressed. He's 23 and he's got his best years ahead of him yet. And we're going to be watching that ass for a long time too. Not that I really use that. Okay, so Dan, or all of you can maybe think of this. I believe this is all a byproduct of the age of charters, and it's only gotten worse. The days of suitcase Jake Elder are gone. Somebody that walks out the door with a suitcase full of secrets because they could probably help some other company out seem to be gone just because of what Keselowski said. These charters are worth somewhere in the neighborhood of $40 to $80 million a piece, and there's 36 of them. We're talking about a major chunk of change here, and it's all plays into what this is all about, don't you think?
I think it's part of that, and it's part of the car they're driving now too, and the box you have to work in is so limited right now as far as any creativity, any things you can do. So when you do find an advantage, no matter how small it is, it's that much bigger on the racetrack because it's harder to find them before. Yet teams could play around more in different areas to kind of find things that would make their car go faster. Now you're kind of pigeonholed into so many sections of the car. When you do find something, it's that much bigger a difference. So you want to protect your trade secrets and that much more. So I think it's a combination of all that. Plus, you got like you said, charters are worth tons of money now. So it's a big money deal with a limited area to work in. And when you find something that's that big.
And the cars. I mean, these cars are so limited. And Brian, I don't really understand why they're not taking their own advice and maybe using. I mean, I realize these are supposed to be safer, and they're 21st century. Get your head out of the last century and look at progress. But how come the Norp cars are putting on a better show?
I don't know. We've been talking about that for years now, actually. And I mean, yesterday was another example of it. That the end of that race was outstanding, and that's on every platform with the exception of the mile and a halves. But even last week on the mile and a half, I would say Saturday's race was better than Sunday's race, and that's just what it's been time and time and time again, and they don't change it. I mean, the narrower tire, the old school technology on the Norp Xfinity / Busch cars, whatever you want to call it, Grand National cars, if you want to go way back. I mean, that's what those cars are, and that's how those cars race on ovals. These cars that we have now in the Cup Series are basically road race cars. That's what they are, but they don't put on good racing on road racing. We'll see if it happens today, but I don't know. I think because we're so far into this and it would cost so much money to change it back, I believe NASCAR is afraid to do anything about it, and I think that's why we're kind of stuck with this.
And as Brian alluded, they did race this weekend. Connor Zilisch won in the Norp Series yesterday. It was his third straight race at that track. My God, that kid is talented, and he absolutely intimidated Jesse Love into making a mistake on the last lap and got by him. And Love, they must be good. I guess they're supposed to be really good friends, but he was on the verge of tears when he was talking about how embarrassed he was that he screwed up on the last lap and it cost him a race. Well, I can almost understand that, but Zilisch is some kind of talent. Unbelievable.
And you remember back in Phoenix for the championship race, it was just the opposite. Connor Zilisch was all down on himself and pretty bad when he lost to Jesse Love in the championship in that race. So I guess they're even now.
Yeah.
I'll take the championship over a road race win any day.
There you go. Yeah. No kidding, that's for sure. We'll be back.
If you've spent enough time with yard work and gardening this spring, how about watching someone else have a little fun with dirt? Let's go racing!
Plymouth Dirt Track Racing. This Saturday, the IRA 410 Sprints return, plus the PDTR 360s and Grand Nationals. Gates open at 4:30. Dirt flies at 5:30. Special event prices $25 for 12 and over, $5 7 to 11, and kids under 6 free with paying adults. Check out PlymouthDTR.com for details. The Saturday night tradition. Plymouth Dirt Track Racing.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
Spring is in the air, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need, with fresh mulch arriving daily, from premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to Enviro mulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Chimney Mechanics installs and services wood, natural gas, propane, pellet stoves, and chimneys. We service all of Wisconsin, the UP, and Northern Illinois. We repair all brands and all models of fireplaces, no matter where you bought it. We do custom chimney caps, liners, chimney fire repairs, water and stonework, water leak repairs, and replacement dampers. We do new construction and insurance work. No job is too big or too small. ChimneyMechanics.com. That's Chimney Mechanics with an X. Check us out on Facebook.
A reminder that if you are listening to this during the week, it is a podcast that is downloadable and you can listen to it at your convenience. If you do want to listen to the webcast live, we are on Facebook and on YouTube, and we welcome you to join us. And at any time, since it's a live thing, you can call us with anything you might want to weigh in with. At 414-421-7901. If you hear it on the podcast, don't bother. We're not there. We're at a Brewer game or something. That's how that works. Hey, speaking of apps, if you wanted to watch today's race on an app, you had to watch it on the Fox Sports app. And we've been watching it on there. That's nice, but they're moving. And Dan, the reason, I guess, is so that they're charging for one or the other. I guess for the Fox One app, is that what it is? Unless you have a satellite or cable provider,
right? It's the Fox One app is kind of their new streaming place for Fox to do it. If you don't have it as part of your provider, say for instance, if you have like Spectrum, you have a username and password, and you'll be able to get it as part of that. Or if you have DirecTV, I think maybe part of that, or whatever other ones you have. If you don't have that, you can sign up. It's like 19 something a month, I think, for that to watch all of Fox Sports, not just racing, it's other Fox stuff too, but they're moving everything over to the one Fox One app now.
Was Fox Sports app free? I thought you had to have a provider before you could watch that.
I think you had to have a provider, but I don't know if you didn't have a provider, were you kind of out of luck? I mean, could you now if you don't have a provider, you have to pay for it?
Oh,
I don't
think the app is free, and if it's something that's over the network, like Fox itself, you can watch it for free, but you need to log in if you want to watch anything that's on a subscriber service. Okay. So like if it's on Fox 6, you probably can watch it on your app for free. If it's on FS1, you got to log in.
Okay. And for only $19.95 a month. Welcome to the 21st century. The points, I still think it's kind of early to worry about points. However, you're looking at, when I look at the points and see that Joey Logano isn't in the top 16, I think, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, he's not good. And it was kind of interesting. I was listening to the coverage
Brian, he can't win Vegas and then go win a championship.
Nope, that's right. And it was interesting. I was listening to practice and qualifying yesterday on Amazon, and Kevin Harvick was they're talking about how poor Joey Logano is, and he says, yeah, they aren't good. He goes, and I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel for them at all. So there's something going on at Penske, specifically with that car, that, you know, you're not going to be able to get yourself out of it. And I think it's the fact that for so many years, they relied on, you know, winning a race here, winning a race there, that consistency is just not in their MO. And it's showing right now, like big time. He had 3 finishes in a row outside of the top 30. I don't think that's ever happened in his career before.
How can Blaney be so good? How does that work? They're teammates, same shop.
They're consistent. You know, they've always been consistent.
Even with a shitty pit crew.
Yeah.
The worst.
So now
that's consistency. Their pit crew is consistently terrible.
Yeah, there you go.
So if you're going to extend one of those guys, what would you pick? The 12 or the 22?
Yeah,
they extended the 12 this week, right? He's on for a couple more years.
Yeah, that's an amazing story there too. A long-term extension, which is not a surprise as far as I'm concerned. That I'm glad that Penske was smart enough to put his hooks into Blaney, who is one of the absolute best there is. And then part of the deal was getting Menards to re-up. Now, back in the day when Paul Menard was driving one of those Penske cars, $35 million a year were going over to the Penske organization from Menard's organization. And that was to employ Paul and sponsor all those other cars. I looked at a map today of Menard's locations, and they are definitely a regional company that's putting up this kind of money. On the west, they go as far west as Omaha, Sioux Falls, and Joplin, Missouri. On the east, they go to a couple different locations in West Virginia. And on the south, they just make it to Bowling Green, Kentucky. In that circle is every location that Menards has. It's interesting that they are marketing it with an absolute national budget. It has maybe something to do with that great friendship between John Menard and Mr. Penske.
In today's day and age, people buy online too. I mean,
Yes.
yeah, you're not going to buy lumber online, but there's a lot of other things Menards, has that you can buy online and have shipped to your door anywhere.
After it got here from China.
Right.
Yeah. Welcome to the 21st century there too, Penske and Blaney are hooked up for a long term, and good for both of them. Blaney has been nothing but good, and good for his organization. He's easily the best driver in the house right now. Okay.
Thank you for saying that.
I was wondering,
for you.
watching this Watkins Glen weekend, did you see the tires they put up in some of the turns, like turn 1 and the other ones, to enforce these track limits? If the guys can't go flying way off the racetrack to make moves and stuff. Is that going to come into play today? I can't. A couple of them got hit already in the races so far, but I can't imagine them not getting hit today in these Cup cars.
And they claim it's the drivers that asked for this. They didn't want the absolute out of control, spreading out stuff they do in turn 1 there. So I mean, I think it's if anything, it's going to be a more. The road racing enthusiasts are going to like this because they don't like the way it was done before with just, out of control, just whip it in there kind of things is what you always had in turn 1. Now you're going to have to be a little more precise. Your braking is going to have to be more, down to earth. And yesterday's Norp race, Connor Zilisch made a point of that he took the wrong line on that restart, I think it was a truck race. Connor took the wrong line on the restart because in the old ways you could just whip way out there on the outside, where now he was pinched off, had a lift, and that allowed Honeycutt to win that race.
And then plus they did change it today's race. They added 10 laps, as we mentioned towards the beginning of the show, and make it 100 laps. They also moved the restart zone again. Supposedly the drivers asked for this, and so I don't know that they must have a meeting with
a couple guys in the other races got called on some violations, and because there was kind of some confusion. What was the restart line? It was like a timing line. It wasn't very.
They had a lot of guys in the truck race getting penalized for jumping the start. Not Ty Majeski, though. I'll tell you that.
No, he had his own issues. He had a lot of issues. We're very glad you're tuned in, and we've got some results for you from around the world of racing after this break. LTN returns.
If you've spent enough time with yard work and gardening this spring, how about watching someone else have a little fun
with dirt? Let's go Racing. Plymouth Dirt Track Racing. This Saturday, the IRA 410 Sprints return, plus the PDTR 360s and Grand Nationals. Gates open at 4:30. Dirt flies at 5:30. Special event prices $25 for 12 and over, $5 7 to 11, and kids under 6 free with paying adults. Check out PlymouthDTR.com for details. The Saturday night tradition. Plymouth Dirt Track Racing.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit BonafideSafe.com.
Spring is in the air, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need, with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to Enviro mulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
And now the LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
Dirt track racing is now full scale ahead here as the entire country is pretty much wide open with racing, but we're still dodging a lot of raindrops across the country. We'll start Tuesday, Abbottstown, Pennsylvania, the Lincoln Speedway for the World of Outlaw NOS Engineering Sprint Car Series. Buddy Kofoid picked up the win there versus the Pennsylvania Posse. Wednesday, Banner, Illinois, Spoon River Speedway for the Flow Late Model Night in America. It's supposed to be Illinois Speed Weeks. They're supposed to race Tuesday at LaSalle, but that got rained out. They did run for $20,000 on Wednesday night, and Brandon Shepard picked up the win there. Friday night, they did rain out the Lucas Oil Series at Farmer City, but Chilton, Gravity Park Speedway, Friday night, Modifieds Mike Miller, Grand Nationals Maverick Rue. The new LS Late Model Series made their debut. Eric Clawitter was your winner of the inaugural event, and the stock cars was Brad Lubach. Seymour, the Outagamie County Speedway opened up. Late Models Joel Bennett was your winner. Modified Zach Robb, and stock cars was Jerry Walensky. Up at Luxembourg in the IMCA Modifieds, Travis Hansen was your winner. Stock cars was Tyler Wilson. Darlington, Wisconsin's Lafayette County Speedway had their season opener. The limited lates went to DJ Sweet, and the modifieds went to Jeff Boone Larson. Menomineen's Red Cedar Speedway for the Wissota Late Models, Ashley Anderson was your winner. The Wissota Modifieds was Caden Blauser. USRA Limited Lates went to Josh Wallstrom. Batesville, Arkansas, the Comp Cams Super Dirt Late Model Series, Bad Boy 98, night number 1, $5,000 to win went to Jonathan Davenport. Davenport, Iowa, the IRA 410 Sprints opened up their season. Austin McCarl from 12th starting spot with a thrilling last corner pass over Joel Myers Jr. To pick up the season opening feature win for the IRA. And the Badger Midgets were the undercard there. Brandon Welty was your winner. Who says you can't pass on the dirt? Mechanicsville, Pennsylvania, the Williams Grove Speedway for the World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. Here's a feel-good story. Casey Kane grabbed his first ever World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series win. He was driving Anthony Macri's 39 car. Remember last month, Anthony Macri had a wreck, broke a couple vertebrae in his back. They decided to put Casey Kane in the car. A lot of people are like, Casey Kane. Well, he made him look foolish on that, picking up the win over David Gravel.
I think that was his first win. I thought he had a win before, but I guess not.
Not with the Outlaws. No, he won like all-star races, and he might even won a high-limit race, but never with the World of Outlaws. So that was really cool to see. Last night at Plymouth in the late models, Joel Bennett was your winner. That's 2 for 2 on the weekend for Joel Bennett. MSA 360 Sprints, TJ Smith. That's his first career sprint car win for the Grand National regular. The Grand Nationals went to Will Source. Francis Crick, the 141 Speedway, the modifieds, Cole Sarneski. Stock cars, Brandon Schmidt. The Grand Nationals, Jake Richards. Up at Shawano, the IMCA modifieds, Lucas Lambries was your winner. The USRA Limited Lates made their first appearance up there. They had nice 17 cars for that. That's pretty good to see. Clayton Hofftag was your winner. IMCA stock cars went to Dan Mashansky. Over to Rice Lake, the Wissota Mods, Caden Blauser. Boy, we say that name a lot. We have to figure out who this guy is. He's got a lot of wins already for only the second week of May. Sycamore, Illinois, the IRA Sprint Cars. Paul Nieheiser picked up the win. The IRA Wingless Sprints, Jordan Michaelis with your winner. Hutchinson, Kansas, the Kansas State Fairgrounds Salt Racing Speedway, they call it. The USAC Silver Crown Series was there, 100-lap race. Hayden Reinbold in his first ever Silver Crown event picked up the win. Kokomo, Indiana, the high limit sprint cars. Aaron Reitzel was your winner. Night number 2 at the Williams Grove Speedway for the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars. David Gravel picked up the win this time. Once again, Casey Gaines started on the front row, but didn't have quite as good luck. I think he still finished in the top 5, so a good weekend overall for him. Night number 2 in Batesville, Arkansas for the ComCam Super Dirt Late Model Series Bad Boy 98, $12,000 to win. Jonathan Davenport was your winner. And finally, Fairbury, Illinois, the big money race, $30,000 to win for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. Brandon Shepard pick up the win in that one. Don't look now, but Brandon Shepard's having a pretty good year after being down for the last couple of years. So that is everything this week.
All right, on to the asphalt side of things. Last Sunday, the Midwest Tour ran their Joe Shear Classic at Madison International Speedway. Super late model winner for the Midwest Tour was Austin Nason. Midwest Truck winner was Tristan Swanson. On Friday, the Arca Menard Series ran at Watkins Glen International. Caden Honeycutt was the winner, and then he went on to win his first NASCAR truck race at the Glen. Golden Sands Speedway Super Late Model winner on Friday was John Beal. Grundy County Speedway, the Mid-Am winner was Kevin Murphy. And then yesterday, Grundy County Speedway had the Wayne Carter Classic continue. Twin 50s Super Late Model. First feature winner was Ricky Baker. Second feature winner was Max Kaler. The Z-Max Cars Tour was at Ace Speedway. Late Model Stock Car winner was Caden Honeycutt. Caden Quapple was third. Corey Heim fifth. And the Pro Late Model winner was Caden Honeycutt. Keelan Harvick was fifth. Marshfield Motor Speedway Super Late Model winner was Weston Marthaler. Jefferson Speedway Late Model winner Kurt Clevin. Elko Speedway double features. The first winner was Jeremy Wolf. The second winner was Nick Oxborough. And then Auburndale Speedway down in Florida ran twin 50-lap Super Late Model features. And the first winner was Cody Stickler. Kendrick Cryer finished fourth. And then the second feature went to Michael Goddard, and Kendrick Cryer was 13th. And that is it.
Didn't Bickle go down and race in Illinois?
He was at Grundy. Yeah, he finished, I want to say, maybe 5th in the first or 6th, and then he was like 7th or something.
Huh.
Maybe in the second one.
Not bad for a part-timer that's retired. You know.
I know, retired. Yeah, he and Austin Nason are on their retirement tours.
Ed Nason's story is pretty amazing. He certainly was fun to watch the other night. Last Sunday afternoon. He came from further back, and you could see what a great car he had. And the whole time, you may have been paying attention because you thought you might be there to witness the first ever Penn Sauter victory because he found himself in the lead with like 50 laps to go. But it didn't take long. If you were watching, you could see that Nason really had a good car. Not bad for a guy that tried to retire and sell that car, and they couldn't find a buyer. So, what the hell? Let's take it to Slinger and Madison and see if anybody wants to buy it. Do we know? Did anybody buy the car yet?
No, and he doesn't know how many he's going to race. He may race more. He may not. He's not sure.
Unbelievable. Well, that was very, very impressive last week, too. And
poor Gabe Summers, man. He had him covered, I think, until that upper control arm broke on his left side there.
Yeah, that's a new car that he had too.
Yes.
And the word is that it was made with lightweight components. And
nothing illegal, just that's the way they build things these days, and Madison is a lot rougher than normal, and
I wrote a little bit about that in the Midwest Racing Connection magazine. And they have this new chassis committee coming out, and I know a lot of people are all up in arms about it, but big reason for that is trying to get everybody on the same plane because you have different gauges of metal that a lot of people can use, and it's okay at this point. It's not written in the rules, but you have a lot of parts failures like that. You have a lot of very dangerous accidents when it crushes so bad that you could start a fire or injure the driver.
And like Brian said, I mean to tell you, he had that field covered. There was nobody in the same ballpark, and just to have a failure like that was what a surprise too. Everybody looking at each other, going, "Well, this we didn't expect." So a fun race, good to watch, and thanks to my old buddy Dave Watson for inviting me up to his suite and getting a party with some ex-racers like Steve Arndt was up there. Remember that name? That's the first time I'd met him, and it was pretty cool to have spent that time. You missed a pretty good race there last week, young lady. You should have been with us. We'll be back.
If you've spent enough time with yard work and gardening this spring, how about watching someone else have a little fun with dirt?
Let's go racing! Plymouth Dirt Track Racing. This Saturday, the IRA 410 Sprints return, plus the PDTR 360s and Grand Nationals. Gates open at 4:30. Dirt flies at 5:30. Special event prices $25 for 12 and over, $5 7 to 11, and kids under 6 free with paying adults. Check out PlymouthDTR.com for details. The Saturday night tradition. Plymouth Dirt Track Racing.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
Welcome back to the program. Well, it's that portion where we show how smart we are and make a pick for today's race. Last week, not a one of us picked Chase Elliott.
I got close with Hamlin.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty close. I'm going. First of all, with SVG starting on the pole for a road course race, you would think he's the automatic favorite. I am not a believer in Trackhouse these days. I think there's some issues there, and I'm just, as much as you'd like to see Zilish maybe win his first one, because boy, you talk about a guy that needs to do something. He's been terrible. Who am I taking? My favorite driver, Ty Gibbs, from 10th today. All right. Who wants to go next?
I'll take SVG then if you're going to leave him out there.
Well, hey, everybody can take them. We're not the...
Yeah.
All right. That makes all the sense in the world, Brian.
The pressure's on. I think Trackhouse has got to get a win today, and they're going to get it with SVG.
Agreed. Dan?
Go ahead, PJ.
Well, I'm going to go with Ryan Blaney. But if I had an outside one, it would be Zilic.
Yeah. Well, it'd be nice to see, wouldn't it? All right, Dan, you've heard everyone.
Right. I'm gonna go with kind of a super long shot pick here. You have a favorite that like SVG that is so much of a favorite. You kind of look for some value if you're playing odds. Like if you're gonna put some money down. How about a guy that was at 40-1 at the beginning of the week? I don't know where he is right now after qualifying that team that's running better. Boy, they're getting accused of stealing things from the other team that's making them run better, and he's a pretty good road racer. How about Daniel Suarez?
Ooh, that would be
another Trackhouse win. I thought you were going to go with Michael McDowell.
He's not on Trackhouse.
I mean, not Trackhouse. I mean, Spire. Another Spire win.
Yeah. Well, that would just add a little more flame to the fire there.
Think there's some motivation here to beat the Trackhouse car?
Oh, yeah.
If we're all taking second drivers, Christopher Bell would be the guy. Why am I suddenly in love with Toyotas? I don't really like Toyota. Not just don't really like. I don't like them at all.
I think you do. You're a closet Toyota fan.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm supposedly a Ford guy, but I drive a Chevrolet. Does that make any sense? Hell no. It makes no sense. I can tell you who's a Dodge guy. Travis Pastrana. He's going to race at Charlotte in that number 25 Ram pickup truck. Obviously, it's just for the eyes on the race because he brings.
Remember when he was in the Busch Xfinity Series, Riley Series they call it now? He had an issue with wrecking a lot, didn't he?
Yes.
Yes.
Saying with things that are guaranteed in life, death, taxes, and Pastrana wrecking in a race.
Yeah.
I think him and Danica were running the Xfinity Series back then, or that back time there was the Nationwide Series together. I think I remember seeing them both run at Chicago when they had the standalone race. They were like the fan favorites there.
I think you could probably compare him to old Garrett Mitchell. What's his name? I think that they're both on the same wavelength. They're still learning the sport. They're there for the eyes. There's so many people. Why do I call him Garrett Mitchell? What the hell's his name again?
Cletus.
Yeah. Well, you think that's easier to remember?
Cletus, I think, is on the rise. Pastrana's been there, and I think his popularity isn't where it was before because you don't see him as much anymore.
Yeah, that's in racing, but all those people that loved him before are going to be following him back over there again. So, what's Cletus's next race, by the way? I don't even know.
I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think he's going to run some more ARCA stuff, so we'll see him pop up when ARCA goes to, another NASCAR track later in the year, probably.
There are guys today that show up on road courses that really don't do jack the rest of the time, such as AJ Allmendinger, Michael McDowell. These are road course guys that are pretty damn good and don't do much elsewhere.
And McDowell in a Spire car is interesting, too. I mean, he seems to pop up at least one or two road courses a race to squeak one out.
Mm-hmm.
He's second, right? Did he qualify second, though?
He did. He did. And I don't. How was Hocevar in road courses? I don't even remember. Is it a thing?
He was at the top of the board in practice for a while yesterday. So yeah, he can figure that out too.
And
the one thing he can't do is drive a dirt late model real well because he tried to do that on Wednesday and struggled mightily.
How did that work out?
Not good. He didn't make the feature.
He's just there to have fun,
Absolutely, and he's a fan drawer. So, I mean, that was good for them.
How the hell did this guy turn into a fan favorite? Because of his victory lap? Or the fact that, there's so many people that think his lips are, never mind.
I don't know. It's a whole combination of things, probably. And he's kind of...
he goes out there with the fans, I mean, people that I know that were at that dirt race, he's out there, slinging T-shirts, selling, talking to people. He stuck around and talked to people. Yeah, he interacts with them. I think that's the main thing. You can not like a guy, and then all of a sudden you meet him in person, and he gives you the time of day. You're going to turn like that. Yeah, and I think that's what you're seeing with him.
So he's at a dirt track, hawking T-shirts and hanging out in the crowd in the infield there. Then he goes to the Met Gala all in the same week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did we ever figure out what the connection was with that Met Gala? It cost $100,000 to go to that thing. Where did he get that kind of money? And don't tell me that they just left his name at the gate. They don't do that shit when you're paying 100 G's to get in.
Yeah, I mean, Chili's isn't really a high-end restaurant to sponsor.
No, right? no, not the. I mean, it's
they
nice.
Say if you buy into the cult of Hollywood, you'll have success.
I guess he certainly his name came out of nowhere, and it seems like, and all of a sudden, he's a thing. I hope all you mothers have a wonderful day today, including you, Marge. Have a nice day. Don't forget, Slinger Speedway's regular season opener is 1 week from tonight. That'll be my first time there this year, and my last time till August.
Crown.
And remember this, the Triple Crown. It's a pretty big deal. Real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta. Our engineer is Matt Losey, and for all of us involved with the program, we consider it an honor that you tune in. And we'll see you next week, everybody.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.